Marcus, can you mop the stage real quick? 10 minutes to places.
Thank you, 10. We have carpet.
Having trouble finding that mop? 9 minutes to places, by the way.
Okay, thank you, 9. We have carpet. If you want to figure out how to mop carpet, that's okay. I can vacuum. I'll vacuum.
Listen, please, just get it done, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Going dark!
Thank you.
Okay. Alright, and Daddy Kane says that right before sound cue 22.
Hey, Zander.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've hardly gotten any sleep. I'm so busy with the show and...
Yeah, I
all
want
that.
to talk to you about that. I know you're taking this hard, but you know we have to be done with the theater season, right? None of us wanted it, but we have to be done yet. Now there's no more work to be done.
5 minutes till the break's over.
5 minutes, and then it'll be over. Hey everyone, welcome to Zander and Sander. I'm Sander.
And I'm Zander.
Welcome back to this, our very second broadcast. Now, it's been a long week for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. It's the first week of online classes for us at Northwestern and probably several other colleges as well.
Yeah, I thought that maybe all of you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed with your work right now, so I decided to aid you guys a little bit. You may be feeling a little bit guilty about watching this broadcast instead of doing your reading assignment, so I prepared a little segment for you to help ease that pain and save you a lot of time.
Go ahead and check it out.
Hey there! I know that many of you are in English classes, but all you want to do all day is watch Netflix or game. You don't want to read anything. And I hear you. And sometimes it can even be a little bit difficult to go onto SparkNotes and copy the stuff they have on there. And you might feel a little bit guilty watching this stream right now instead of doing your schoolwork, like reading. So, I've got the solution for you. I have read a book, and I'm going to summarize it for you, and I'm going to give you the best talking points so it looks like you're participating in class. Around this time, I know that Kugler's Historical Perspective class is reading this book, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the original 1818 text. Honestly, this text is thicko mode, so it's going to be a little bit of work to get through it. Fortunately, I have the solution. I've read through this entire thing in one day. Just one day it took me. Because I am a speed reader, and I will tell you the secrets of this book. Okay, so what's the deal? First of all, don't watch the movie, because it's nothing like the book. Who would make a movie that's not like the book? So basically, this book doesn't start with Frankenstein. It starts on a ship. Yeah, well, no. Actually, it starts in a town where this woman receives a letter from a guy on a ship, and the guy on a ship hears a story from a guy who tells the story about when he was in medical school and then dropped out. Anyway, that's basically the plot. This guy, his name is Victor. He's not a doctor. His name is Victor Frankenstein. And he makes a person. We don't know how he does it. He digs up bones. He goes to slaughterhouses. It's kind of weird. Here's the thing. People often pedantically say that Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster. However, if you want to be even more pedantic and score even more points with Kugler, here's what you gotta say. Actually, Frankenstein wasn't even a doctor. He dropped out of medical school because he was depressed. You'll score a lot of points with that one. I promise. Here's another thing about Frankenstein. He speaks French. So does the monster. You imagine the monster being all ugly, but then speaking a language like French, which is even uglier, and you're like, makes a lot of sense. Okay, on to themes. I scoured through this book, and here's the thing about it. It doesn't really have any themes. So, if Kugler asks you, hey, what does this say about society? The answer is absolutely nothing. Mary Shelley just wrote it for fun. Actually, here's a fun secret about everything. All fiction has no themes and is just for fun. Anyone who says that there are themes is trying to grade you about something. Alright, now here are some quotes that you can use in your essays and bring up in class discussions and things like that. It'll make you seem really smart. On page 23, Victor's dad says, "My dear Victor, do not waste your time upon this. It is sad trash." This is an example of intertextuality. This is when one text references another text or something in real life. It's kind of a postmodern concept. It's pretty cool. The quote here is intertextual because it is referring to a real-life object. That object is me, because I am sad trash. Another thing that the film gets wrong is that it depicts Frankenstein as slow. Actually, Frankenstein is the second fastest character in fiction after Sonic the Hedgehog. Here's a quote from page 122. "I saw him descend the mountain with greater speed than the flight of an eagle. The monster is very fast and will catch you in your sleep tonight." Also, on page 123, Victor says, "But I cannot describe to you how the eternal twinkling of the stars weighed upon me." Victor says this because he is emo. Again, on page 111, Victor references the stars when he says, "The cold stars shone in mockery." This is scientifically inaccurate because stars are actually hot. This is another example of how people of the past were dumber than people are today. They thought that stars were cold back then, but actually using science and technology and things like atheism, we know that stars are hot. On page 74, Mary Shelley also uses pallid. Only 2 instances of the word pallid have ever been recorded. One of them was in a weird poem about a crow.
The pallid bust of Pallas in the Raven.
Ah, I was right. Another thing about this book is that people write letters to each other a lot. This is because texting was very bad and unreliable back then. Texts were like $2 a piece, so that's why they wrote each other. Another point of pedantry. The monster is never called Frankenstein's monster in here. It's usually called the demon, or the creature, or the abomination. That is because people in the past were racist. Overall, I say I would rate this book about a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it was pretty exciting, but there are a lot of words that I didn't know, and looking them up in the dictionary was just like too much effort. Anyway, if you bring those points up to Kugler, I think he will super appreciate what you've brought to class, and you don't even have to think about it yourself. That's all for today. Keep reading, or actually don't. I'll just read all the books for you. Email me books that you want me to read, and I'll read them, if I already have them. Hey guys, welcome back. I hope that saved you a tremendous amount of time and a tremendous amount of effort and thought.
Lots of it.
Lots of it. Anyway, we are back to our segment known as Regular News now. After a little bit of a technical snafu last week, we decided that instead of bringing you fancy news and fancy clothes, that was a little bit not worth the effort for the risk involved, and decided to go with regular news for you.
You will notice that we are dressed in our regular clothes and are prepared to bring you regular news.
Indeed. Yes. So, first things first, what's the first news item? I forgot it already, actually.
Neighbors.
Our neighbors moved out. We woke up this morning and we heard them going up and down the stairs about a dozen times, and then another dozen times, then over 130 times while I was trying to sleep. So, goodbye, neighbors, whoever you were. I didn't talk to you all year, but I hope you're doing well wherever you're going, whatever you're doing. I'll miss seeing your doormat and nothing else of you, unfortunately.
Next up, Comcast still sucks. That's pretty regular.
Yeah, McDonald's still sells pretty mediocre food. The oceans are still full of plastic. Everything's pretty typical right now. It's all regular.
This may have been on the more boring side of our segments. Let's move along to sponsors.
Right. Sponsors. Our first sponsor today is Your House Pets. Your House Pets bring you the message, "We are so excited that you're home all the time. We are so glad to see you. All hours of the day, all hours of the night. I know that you think we're adorable now, but sooner or later you will get annoyed by how much attention we seek and how much we want your undivided, complete attention. Now, we may be a little bit needy, but we think that you should put down your computer, step away from your keyboard, and just come down to the floor and play with us just for a little while."
Zander and Sander is also brought to you by every streaming service ever. You're already subscribed and watching us since you have nothing else to do, so we don't need to advertise, but we have all this extra cash and we figured we'd blow it somewhere.
Zander and Sander is also sponsored by us, Zander and Sander. Now, we don't exactly have a lot of cash to do this show with, but we had a little bit of an in with the show's creators. So be sure to watch Zander and Sander. All you have to do is, well, absolutely nothing, seeing as you're already watching it right now. So thank you so much.
Stay right here. You're doing a good job.
You're doing great. Thank you.
All right. We're going to move on to our mail segment now.
Yes, and we have a special guest for our mail segment today. You may know him as Sim. You may know him as Michael. You may know him as the Simster. He is an RD. He is a soccer coach. He is the host of a really cool podcast called Take It to Heart that you should definitely listen to. Campus's very own Michael Simmelink.
Come on, Sim. Yeah.
Give a warm welcome. Thank you, Landon.
Thank you. Probably don't
thanks,
wait
Landon.
for a big welcome from the audience.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right. Sim's here to help us respond to your mail,
Right.
Whether it be questions, advice, or just in general compliments. All right, we're going to start off with some messages from Instagram.
Yes.
All right, Sophie says, or asks, thoughts about opossums.
Yeah.
Winky
thoughts
face.
about opossums. Yeah, what do you think about opossums, Sim?
Well, we have to start with the spelling. We, as an advanced society, do not need to spell possum with an O. It doesn't need to be there. There are not other words that dictate. This is a random thing that's arbitrary, and having an O at the front of possums when we don't pronounce it, I think is ridiculous. And so before we get to any part of the actual animal itself, because I'm not blaming the animal itself, right? We named it, our fault. Particularly
Whoops.
English people, our fault.
Adam, his fault.
Particularly Adam, yes. We need to start with the spelling. We take the O off, we can maybe get into some problems I have with the critter itself.
Right.
And he does have problems, it sounds like. All right, next up.
Yeah. All right. From Carter, if you could throw cold spaghetti at anyone, dead or alive, who would it be? I would probably say George Washington in a fit of congressional rage. Indeed, he was over 6 feet tall, quite the imposing man, and I think it would just be funny to see him totally just like.
I was going to go with Thomas Jefferson myself.
Yeah, interestingly, Thomas Jefferson is a fan of pasta. Little known fact, he imported mac and cheese to the United States, and he would eat it during congressional meetings. In fact, he loved it so much that he would make all of his house guests try it, and he ate it in Congress so much that George Washington banned him from having it in Congress because he imported cheese from Italy, and it took like 2 months to arrive by ship. So it was pretty pungent by the time it got here, and
yikes.
apparently it bothered everybody else, so he was banned from eating it.
All right, well, there's that. All right, next up, Beef says, hello, this live stream series is currently my favorite source of happiness. We just included this one because it makes us feel so good. Y'all have any tips on how to excel in online classes? Love and miss y'all so freaking much. Thanks.
Well, do I have tips in theory to help you? Absolutely. In practice, definitely not. One of the things I tried to do was format my computer so it had dual boot operating systems on it, and then one would be all for my fun stuff like games and social media and internet and things like that, and the other one was just for homework. The idea being that when you have one booted up, you can't do any of the other one. The problem with this, though, is that I just logged into Netflix and everything else on both of them, and now I'm just as distracted as ever, of course. Yeah, so...
Well, the best I can give you, Beef, is something you've probably already heard from your professors, but I found that setting a realistic alarm for myself and scheduling out my day as if it were somewhat of a college day actually helps me know that I need to get things done. And so it might seem a little bit arbitrary, but it works for me. Hope that's helpful for you.
All right, the next one is from Sierra. Update on No Pants Shirt Squirrel, or whatever he is called. I miss him. Well...
Both of us have been stuck inside. Sim, you got anything?
Neither of us have seen Pants No Shirt.
Yeah, just a correction for Sierra. It is he has pants but no shirt. He's on the Skins team playing pickup basketball is how I often think of it. That being said, he could be playing basketball right now. I'm not sure. I did not see him on my walk from Hospers to the hub and then coming over here to the plexus. So I cannot confirm his whereabouts outside of that, but he was not on that walking path this evening.
No.
That's the most up-to-date information we have. All right. Carissa says, what is your least favorite planet and why is it not Jupiter?
Okay. What do you have against Jupiter? Come on, Chris. Jupiter is actually very important to our solar system. You know that?
If you have some issues that you need to talk out, just feel free to send us more mail. But we aren't professionals in this area.
Yeah, Jupiter is what's called a shepherd planet. And what that means is Jupiter is very massive and has a lot of gravity. And that means it captures asteroids that might collide into Earth. So if an asteroid enters our solar system or is careening towards Earth, usually Jupiter's gravity is enough to disrupt it, and it corrals them in these little zones called the Lagrangian points. They're Trojan asteroids that it captures in these little fun gravity wells so that they don't come and crash into Earth. So you should be a little bit more grateful to Jupiter, I think. Plus, it has the best movement in Holst's planet suite, so how could you say anything about that?
It's got them dance moves. I personally am a fan of asteroids not crashing into Earth.
Hear, hear.
Yeah. The next one is from Rex, and he asks, is watching anime a sin? Okay, this was a question that we asked a lot during the convocation, but it never got through the filter for some reason. So now that we actually have somebody who's on staff here at campus, what's the position of campus?
Yeah, so obviously I'm speaking for the college as a whole here, every board member, every alum, and so you can take this as official decree in a way. So here's the thing I would say. For anime, whether or not it's sinful. If it is just anime, if it can only be classified as anime, then I think you're okay. When anime is also can have the label of hentai, you're getting in muddy waters. Actually, you're getting in filthy, dirty, bad waters. And I would say like that's
gamer
a bad
bathwater.
So like. Here is the hentai and stuff. Just don't go there. And then like here is anime, and I will forward the information out for Tim Sear, his contact information. Big anime guy, and he can tell you what's in here. In the good box. And if you're starting to get close to that line into the bad box, just stray away. And I think if you can make that simple decision, you'll be okay. Shouldn't face any sort of conduct or policy discipline from the college then.
Yeah, there we have it. We actually had Sim in so we could force them to give us an answer to this question once and for all.
No.
Yeah.
That's the reason. All right, next up. Dana says, I'm not convinced at how awesome y'all are yet. Thus, how shall you earn it?
Okay. First of all, Dana, nobody earns anything. As a member of Dr. Kultwasser's senior seminar class, I think you of all people should know that. I mean, why do you even go to this reformed college if you think that we earn our way into anything? I might as well ask you, what made you earn the right to be able to watch us right now? Dana?
Yeah, why are you watching us?
Yeah.
You know what? Log off, go to your room, and think about what you did, and don't come back until you're ready to be nice to everybody else.
Amen.
All right.
Yeah, okay. The next thing, Rachel asks, what are the best Webkinz pets? I accept only serious answers. This is for science. A squirt gun emoji. Do either of you have any kind of opinion on this?
Not a clue.
Never seen one.
Okay, here's the deal with Webkinz. I'll tell you what. When it comes to Webkinz, what's important is that you need to optimize your gains for how much money you spend. Think back to middle school. Think back to elementary school, in fact, when you were purchasing Webkinz. As a little kid, you didn't exactly have a lot of money. Webkinz could be up like $25, $30. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Small ones. The small ones are great. First of all, they're a little bit cuter. Secondly, they're a lot easier on your allowance money. And then as for the type of Webkinz, I would have to say the birds. The birds are just great, cute. You get the treehouse room that comes with them. And additionally, I think that just the hummingbird one is just adorable. So hummingbird little Webkinz is the best one that there is.
All right. Sounds great. Next up, we have Eleanor asking, how would you eat an egg should you have an egg? On an unrelated note, could you demonstrate? If it's an unrelated note, what are we demonstrating?
Well, I don't get that question.
Okay.
No. All right, we're moving on. How fast is your heart beating right now? I would say it's a solid 420.
Yeah, I think I'm 420 over 69.
It's a pretty good one.
All right. Gideon says Revolution 9 by the Beatles. Then adds, sorry, I thought this was one of those song recommendation things. Well, Gideon, what I will tell you is that we gave Revolution 9 a little bit of a listen. And Wouldn't recommend it entirely for everybody. Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely a sequence of sounds, and if that's all you need for a song, Revolution 9 definitely is a song if I've ever heard one.
All right.
Indeed. Yeah. This one's from Daniel, and he says, "Hi, y'all hot." I'm not sure if that's to us. I think that's to us.
I would include myself in that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
include you.
Okay.
That one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Next up, we're gonna read some emails. The first one is from Kit.
Yeah, this is from Kit. I think we didn't print this one out. It's over here. Kit's basically asking what is the best video game? What's the video game?
What
of
is
the
the
decade?
game of the decade?
The game
Kit
of the
asks.
decade. It depends.
I would
on-
have to say
yeah.
the game that you just lost.
I
now.
would definitely say it depends on what decade you're talking about. Is this the 10s, whatever we're going to call it, the teens, or are we going to talk about the 20s? Because we're in the 20s now. We're in
We
the
are in the 20s.
roaring 20s, if you will, you know? We're here. We're in the middle of it. Of the 10s, probably Minecraft. I mean, it went from this little tiny web demo by a Swedish guy to the best-selling video game of all time, beating out even Tetris. So that's pretty incredible.
And we did have an email from Elijah that asks, why is Minecraft such an timeless game? And we will not read the rest of it because it would be a headache for me to read that spelling. But I think it plays into this question. I would also posit that since the alpha for Minecraft was in 2009, it might not fall into the category of the teens.
Did you have a second? Do you have a second game, maybe?
I like King of Tokyo. It's a pretty cool one.
Oh, that board game, yeah.
Just said game.
As your
Just a game, yeah. If you're talking about the 20s, we're 3 months into it, and I already think, in my opinion at least, Half-Life Alyx just takes the cake. Beautiful game, incredible gameplay, very natural. It just feels like you're interacting with the real world for the first time. There's people right in front of you, just like Sim is in front of me, and they look like they're right there. You know, they're just like people, and they're just next to you
Because it's in VR.
because it's all in VR. It's pretty great. So one thing that we did for this answering this question is that I threw Lucas into VR.
Just yeeted.
Just yeeted him straight into there and saw what somebody who is not a VR native does when presented with possibly the best game of the decade so far. So I hope you enjoy that segment. All right. You ever played a video game before, kid?
Well, I tried once. And I died. This is pretty dope. Reconnaissance. I can recon some assets. That's pretty. Holy moly. This is a really pretty game. This is just such a pretty game. Honestly, pretty easy movement. Just want to be able to crack it open. Important files. Not that. Oh no, this is my desiccated sustenance bar. Where's the rip tab? Here, bot, have some desiccated sustenance. I'm gonna sit down in this chair right here. It really feels like I should have something there. Whoops. Let me try this again. Dang it. Listen up, everybody. A new DJ's in town. Oh, I should answer this call, shouldn't I? Is it?
It's not a button. You push the button with your hand.
That one? Yo!
It's good, Dad.
Oh, man. Gotta draw something important.
Maybe they should teach classes in this instead.
Honestly, yeah, this looks way more interactive than Zoom. Look at this beautiful sweeping script. Well, if you want to be continuously going on a downward slope.
You can also physically walk around inside the VR space that you're standing in.
Oh god, oh, holy. Oh, that does not look like a nice guy. I'm talking in the game menu. Okay. It's not necessarily going to kill me. Wowza. That's intense. Hey there, my dude. What if I take this off? Can I... No, too big.
Yeah, you shouldn't probably do that. That's just an opinion, though.
Can I overfeed him? Is that possible? All right. How do I stash these meals in my inventory?
There's
Stick
no.
it on my back.
There's
All
no.
right, sounds good.
You
I
don't
got
have to
it.
store those guys.
Yeah, I know this game. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Here's some stuff scraggling around. I need a coat. Let me add it to my inventory.
Yeah, don't turn off the power for the whole block there, Buster.
Watch me. Oh, hey guys, don't worry. I got y'all covered. Here's some toilet paper.
I think
you get one. You get one. Everybody gets one.
I think those are paper towels,
Anything's
actually.
toilet paper if you need it to be. Oh, that worked.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's what I'm talking about. That's quality
That's
gameplay.
called interactive environment. Let me tell you about everything that I know about video games. Ooh. Oh, people.
Alex, are we good? Yep, they got the reactor. Easy peasy. I'm headed back to the safe house right now to meet Dad.
Tell you what, my voice sounds different.
We'll be in touch. Stay safe.
Oh, okay, should I? Oh, yikes. Oh, look, another coat. I'm gonna be so warm, you guys. Gosh, this is intense. Is this a horror game, Zander? Because I don't know. We didn't talk about my experience with horror games, but...
This game is hardly scary at all, though.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's a pigeon right there. Go grab him.
Grab him. Lemon lime soda. Let's crack open a Sprite. I was about to ask why all lemon lime sodas are green and yellow. Then I decided not to be a dummy. Come on. Yeet! That's pretty cool, actually. Ooh, is that an ashtray?
It's a snack.
Snack! It's a special tool we'll save for later. Oh god. Oh yikes. Where the heck? Oh, there it is. Should I get going? That doesn't look nice. Anybody need a paint job? This house sure does. Ooh, this is ominous AF. And for you older audience members, AF means as fart. I feel like this is where I should have a gun. This is cruel and unusual, unconstitutional. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I live in the good old US of A. I have rights! Just give me a gun, I'll be cool. Insubordinate. Darn right. Oh. This feels like a trap. God.
Alex, everything cut out for a second. I lost the headset video feed.
Yikes. Yeah. He gone. They've got the phone lines. Please stand by. Stand by what? Stand by this lamp?
Alex, great. Okay, let's... Wait, my drone's okay, right?
Nope, it exploded. I'm fine, by the way.
Just like my dad's okay.
The good news is, we've got something they don't.
Which is...
My plan to get them back.
Great.
Grab something that represents us.
Here's a teacup. Oh.
Way to go.
But I touched it. What the heck?
Okay, that's you. The gloves, Alex. You know, the gravity gloves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm with you every step of the way.
Oh yeah.
Just a little flick of the wrist. Try catching it.
Oh, that's not what I was aiming at.
That's it. Try again. Boom. Yep. Perfect. We're done. Oh wait. I almost forgot. Alex, up here. You're gonna need a gun.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's unloaded.
Oh.
It's unloaded now.
Not bad. Okay.
Oh, you took care of that lock then. Good. Great. Did have the key for it. Should have given you that. That's on me.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. What? Oh my gosh. You didn't tell me that I was right the entire time. Do you know how good about myself I would have felt? All right. Well, hope you enjoyed whatever that was. We're going to get on to some more fan email now. This first one says, "Hey Zander and Sander, if Eskimos didn't live in igloos, then where should they live? Your biggest fan, Nathan." All right, now Nathan, here's the thing. Eskimos is a bit of a racist term these days. It's been used as a derogatory term for the indigenous people, the Inuit, for a long time now, and so we want to stay away from that. And as far as igloos, they Inuit don't live in igloos. Those are more of like a hunting post type thing, and so I'm afraid I don't really know what to do with this question. Sorry.
Yeah. The next one is from Irma Dumas, and it says, "Dear Zander and Sander, I've been using the Raider Hardly Know Her app and have a spouse. Success. Now that we're all quarantined, it sure makes dating difficult. I was wondering if you could give us some dating tips. Zander, how do you and Tulip go on dates and keep the married life spicy? Your smallest fan, Irma Dumas." Well, listen, Irma, times are difficult for all of us. What I would say for this one is just start FaceTiming, Just start FaceTiming, get each of you a single candle, put it right next to the screen, and then separately make spaghetti in your 2 different homes and sit there and eat spaghetti. Now, the problem with this is that it's not very romantic to make someone else cook some spaghetti, especially if they get red sauce all over their clothing and have to wash it out afterwards. However, you just kind of have to make do in these times of trial and tribulation. There's not much else you can do about it. The other thing I'd recommend is maybe downloading Steam and playing Team Fortress with her, because Team Fortress has hats, and nothing makes a man look better than wearing a pretty snazzy hat. So those are my 2 tips, spaghetti and Team Fortress.
All right, no arguments here. Our next email says, "Dear Sander and Zander, I'd have to say I'm a fairly big fan." We're going back to our fan argument. If you missed that, make sure to catch up on the last episode. "I'd have to say I'm a fairly big fan since I have large, flat blades and spin very fast. Other fans have said they followed you from the beginning. However, I would like to point out that I have been following Zander for the greater part of 2 decades and thus am superior. Expect to get a Zoom call in the next few days to determine the best fan through single combat to the death. I love you too, and I'm sorry my hamster killed yours when we were 12. Abigail." This one sounds a little bit personal.
Yeah, well, funny story about that hamster, and by funny I mean horrifying. Come home from church, I'm maybe 11, 12 years old, go to check out my hamster. Very friendly hamster, would just let you pick her up and hold her and would just be totally happy sitting eating sunflower seeds in your hand. And so I went to go pick up this hamster, would always sleep under the wheel, and so I picked her up and noticed she was a little bit kind of stiff, like a beanbag or something, maybe a stuffed animal. Realized she was dead, and then flung her just straight across the room, yeeted her. And we put her in a jewelry box and buried her in the backyard, and the dog was very interested the whole time. It was a very good hamster, though. I'm very sorry to have seen her gone, because she's just very, very personable and very nice, and would break out of her cage a lot, but wouldn't run away, and just sit on top of the cage and eat things while staring down at the dog. Kind of like lived on the edge, I think. Lived as she died, as it were.
What a fabulous story. All right, our next email says, "Dear Zander and Sander, I recently graduated from Northwestern College without receiving my ring before spring. More alarmingly, I'm still unmarried a full year later. Rumor has it that Northwestern will issue a full refund for ineffective schooling, aka not finding a good Christian soulmate on campus. Is this true? Lots of love, Ringless." Now, Ringless, from what I've heard, President Christie is consulting with the board, and the college is consulting with the federal government on whether funds will be allocated for this refundment, and they can't officially make any promises until they hear from the federal government about student aid.
They're looking into it, guys. They're looking into it. If you have any questions, know that they are definitely thinking about looking into it.
That's right.
Yes. All right. Here we've got another one from Grace. "Dear Zander and Sander, let me be the first to say that I can't believe that Skylar has claimed to be your biggest fan. It is obviously me. As I mentioned before, I have been there for you both from the very beginning. To prove this to your widespread audience, I went through my old photos and found just a couple of photos that will put any debate to rest concerning who is truly your biggest #1 fan. Here are the photos. The first one is from just one of the many times that the 3 of us would hang out and laugh together, before the social distancing. Those were happy days. Just look at how happy we were. There we go.
All right.
This next one is actually from the time that Zander asked me if I would commit to being the #1 biggest fan of Zander and Zander. Of course, I agreed. Kittrick Fine Art was also there, so if for any reason you don't believe me, you can ask him. Excellent. Yes, that's incontestable proof. Honestly, that's photo proof right there.
That's a character witness if I've ever seen one.
Yes, he is indeed. So there you have it, the biggest, greatest #1 fan of Zander and Zander with photo evidence. Anything that the Scooter Girl says is a lie, so don't believe any of it. If there's any further doubt in your minds or in the minds of your audience, I will leave you with this original haiku that really captures how I feel about Zander and Zander. Zander and Zander, I am the #1 fan. Don't believe Skylar. Sincerely, Graves. Well, thank you so much, Graves, for writing us in. And, well, it seems like you've defeated Skylar. You still have one more opponent left, and that is Gnabigail. So you better get on that one really quickly if you want to defeat her. She's pretty feisty, so I hear.
Alrighty. Let's see. We've got one more email. It looks like more of a cease and desist. There's
A cease and desist?
Yeah.
Who from?
it's from a fan company. Let's see. It says just 1 second here. It warns us not to make our fans fight because fans colliding could cause mass destruction and possibly electrical failure. There's a link to more information. Should we?
No, don't click that. It's a Rickroll. I already clicked on it earlier.
A Rickroll. Of all times, I think we've had enough mail for today.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Zander here. I was just thinking, with all the bars and clubs closed, you probably haven't gotten your karaoke fix recently. And, well, I've got a guitar here, so what the hey, right? Anyway, let's play through some songs. Xander's gonna throw up some lyrics in post, and you all sing along at home. And if your families ask what on earth you're doing, let them in on the fun, alright? Okay, let's see. Our first song is Wanted, Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi. Let's go. Takes too long to get to the singing. Let's try the next one. Oh, yes, okay. Great song, Anything for You by Lilo. You all know it, just sing along. All right, ready? Go. My ancestors planted some sequoia bio. Driven down that road. You know it, right? Sing. You haven't heard? Okay. Okay. Well, next song. Okay. Not that one, apparently. Oh, yes. Okay. I chose this one because it talks about something that we all might be missing a little bit right now. All right. This is Every Time We Touch by Cascada. 3, 2, 1. I still hear your voice when you sleep next to me. I still feel your touch in my dreams. Forgive me my weak. It just feels something's different. I don't know. Not exactly right. Do we have anything else? Well. Okay. All right. Everybody join me in singing the Super Mario Brothers theme song. Hopefully that was somewhat useful.
Yeah. During the break, actually, we found out some interesting information talking to Sim right here. As it turns out, those of you who are familiar with Apartment 11 know it has a long story and history to it, but apparently it goes back further than we even knew. Can you explain that real quick, Sim?
Yeah. So this is the plex of a woman I dated my freshman year here at Northwestern.
Was she also a freshman, being in the plex? How did a freshman get in the plex?
Yeah, you know, she actually wasn't a freshman. She was a senior. And there's a long story with. Well, there are many stories with all of this. You can ask Kendall Stanislav about the sweatshirt story. He'll be more than happy to tell you. Yeah, it was like a trip down memory lane, walking down the stairs, taking the left, and walking into to this place that still has that same charm that it did back in 2011.
Yeah, you like it any better now?
I think overall this is an improvement. Walking into it not having my ex-girlfriend and her roommates, but rather these guys.
So yeah, so you guys broke up then?
Oh yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Maybe I didn't make that clear. We are not together. She is married and has like 4 kids, and is doing lots of cool things. So mazel tov and all that. We actually broke up on the stoop outside of this Plex building. It started kind of in the stairs, and then we transitioned out because someone was doing laundry. So wonderful, cool September night. And then I cried for a little bit and called my friend Keaton, and she came back downstairs. So, yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
Incredible.
here we are.
Yeah.
Now, if you didn't know, Sim is known for his incredibly hot takes, and the tagline for his podcast is moralizing preferences. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of what kind of person he is.
Right. So Sim does a podcast called Take It to Heart. And in that podcast, he has some hot takes, and he has people on who have hot takes, and they talk about different things. What we're going to do right now is we're going to pummel you with a few topics, and those topics you're going to have to form a split-second opinion on. You can say good, bad, some of your experience. You might say a little bit more about it. You might say why you feel that way. And we're just going to throw them right at you,
Excellent. Well, this is a chance for me to use my superpower. It is not something that I get to use outside of my podcast a whole lot. But the ability to form an opinion quickly, whether or not it's educated, is indifferent. Very excited to give this a test.
All right, so here we are with Take Association. It's like word association, but with hot takes. Okay, first take, Twitter.
Oh, Twitter. Just like any other thing, depends on the person using it. I think we find out more about people from Twitter. That it wasn't, Twitter didn't create people to be this way. It has simply provided a platform for it. So if you were always kind of a loudmouth, a troll, sarcastic, all these things, now you just have a platform for it. But I don't think Twitter is to blame. I think it's just the manifestation of how people have always been.
That's too reasonable. Keep going.
Hub food.
Hub food. It's what I'm eating right now.
Great.
Fair enough. All right. M&M's.
M&M's. Never just buy regular M&M's to just eat them. Like the brown bag of normal M&M's. If you are just eating that is silly. There are better ways to consume chocolate. If you're going to get M&M's, you need to either get the caramel or the peanut butter, or peanut if you're into that. Or if you're getting regular M&M's, you're putting them in trail mix or popcorn or something. There isn't really a reason to just eat plain brown bag M&Ms by themselves.
Podcasts.
Podcasts are the best.
You should listen to them.
Yeah, I sincerely have loved podcasts for a while. It's how I recharge. I think I learn a lot, and I will be able to continue to learn for years to come by listening to podcasts. I think they're great.
Fabulous. Post Malone.
Post Malone. I have a tagline for this. I don't know if you've heard this. No, this is right up my alley. Post Malone is rap music for white girls who don't like rap music. That's what I think about Post Malone.
Wow. Star Wars sequels.
Sequels.
The sequels, really.
Yeah. It was never going to be good enough. It was never going to clear bars. I think when you try to make it so sacred, great. Star Wars is awesome, and there's a lot of good memories with it. I just think as with anything, if you set expectations and they don't get met, you're disappointed. If you don't have expectations, particularly people who maybe haven't seen the previous Star Wars and then they see the sequels, they aren't as pissed off about it. And I think there's something to that, where the expectation that you have going into something, you just have to be careful of it. I'm not saying they're the greatest things ever made. No, there's plenty of holes. There's plenty of things that we can talk about with it. I would just say your expectations should not determine whether something is good or not. That's on you.
All right, Crocs.
Crocs. Man, well, I mean, no free ads.
There might be some people from North Suites watching.
Yeah, I mean, no free ads, but I'm okay with Crocs. They're a comfortable shoe. I think you can spend too much money on Crocs because it's a styrofoam cup with holes in it, and then you're wearing it, and that's fine. Just like don't buy all in on them, and maybe be a little less flamboyant about Crocs.
Please.
You can actually, I don't know, this might also qualify as breaking news, but you can buy a pair of Crocs and wear a pair of Crocs, and you don't have to tell anyone. No one has to know outside of noticing the shoes you're wearing. You can just wear them and not tell anybody.
That's
possible.
I mean, very possibly. What do you think about the Raider Hardly Know Her app, the one that remotely connects, proposes, and marries Northwestern College students who are stuck in quarantine?
Yeah. Well, I think perseverance for things we value are like, we need to hold on to that, and so that means that we have to make an app with a joke that let's say has gotten some mileage over the past few years at Northwestern. If that's what it takes, again, not ideal, but nothing's ideal now. So measuring against the current standards, it's fine. And honestly, you might get to know each other better, not sucking face in the Steggy lobby.
Yeah. Yep.
I think I'm going to get on board with that one.
That's very true, honestly.
Well, thanks so much to Sim for joining us. Make sure you check out the Take It to Heart podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Look up the TITH podcast wherever you do social media, as well as email tithpodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And that's it for our show as well.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be back Monday at 7, so long as everything goes fine and dandy and we're still alive. So, see you then, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching.